Hello and welcome, bookworms. Welcome to the new year. I know obviously we had one last week. I do hope that all of you are staying cozy and warm, because I don't know about you guys, but Leeds have had some absolutely awful weather recently. Some really bad snow and ice and everything. So please, please, please keep safe. Anyway, welcome back to The Contented Narrative. And this week's episode we're looking at The Ghost Cat by Alex Howard. Now, the tagline is 12 decades, 9 lives, 1 cat. And first of all, the cat's called Grimalkin, which is a fantastic name for a cat, just saying. And what happens is Grimalkin passes away in the 1800s, and he shouldn't have, apparently, because the cat Sith, who's like their god, should have been there to be able to sort of like move him on to a new life and everything like that. But because it was a final death, essentially Grimalkin has to spend the rest of the 8 lives as a ghost, where, you know, for 3 they stay, for 3 they play. No, for 3 they stay, for 3 they stray, for 3 they play. So essentially the first 2 lives that he will live as a ghost, he has to stay exactly where he is. He can't do anything, be anything. He's just a cat. He's just there. He can just see it. Then the stray, he can leave the terrace that he died in, but he kind of, when he decides that he's going to move on to his next life, he then will go back to where he was. And then the play one is he's a bit like a poltergeist, essentially. So it was a really sweet book. It really was. And I liked Grimalkin's character and everything like that. The only downside that I will say is I genuinely wish that we'd had more from his life. So like when he was observing each bit, like he'll observe a bit of history, and you know, it'll only be like 3-4 pages. So it was a nice easy read. It'll only be about 3-4 pages. And then he's like, no, I'm tired now. And then he'll close his eyes, go to sleep, and then it will jump forward. I really, really wish that there was more to it. Because what we had was so sweet and it was so tempting, and I was like, oh, this is the beginning. I quite like this. And then that was it, really. And I mean, there was a couple of stories that I was like, I'm not too bothered about. But then there were ones that I was like, I really wish I'd seen more of what he was coming across, and like built up on more of these characters and what was happening. And it just, I think that was what let it down for me. He does have, I'm probably going to say the name wrong, Elid. I'm going to call it Ellie. It's Eilidh, and they're in Scotland. So if you know how to pronounce it phonetically, please let me know, but I'm just going to call her Ellie. So Ellie's the one that took in Grimalkin as a kitten, and raised him and looked after him and everything. And the first sort of like 3 ghost lives, he kind of still comes across her, which is really nice. And you know, he kind of gets to say his goodbye. That's not, I'm not going to say any more than that. Just let me know if you think the goodbye is as sweet as I like it. But it is just a case of like he gets to say his goodbye and everything. And then once she goes from the picture and it's basically just people he's never met before and he doesn't know, I just kind of a bit was like, okay, great. So I would have loved to know more about those kind of lives. And then as it gets further along, you know, I mean, there was one with a bomb shelter in it, with a one-armed guy that decided that he wasn't going to the bomb shelter, and I was like, I want to know more. I want to live it more. But it was a really sweet book. It was a really easy read. I've done quite a lot of easy reads so far, and this was bought for me as well by my lovely sister Nikki. So thank you so much for that. But I mean, obviously, I would definitely give it a go. Just see if you agree with me. See if you think it's the perfect amount, or see if you think that you need more from the stories. Obviously, thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for the great start to the new year. As I said, I hope you're all staying safe and cozy and warm. Thank you so much, and remember to always keep it contented.